And we back, y'all. It's your boy, the Big Head Dude. Got another one. As always, please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get my first 1,000 followers. That's my goal. That's my mission right now. Get to that 1K. Like the videos. Comment on the videos. It doesn't take much just to comment on it real quick. Critique the skill, or give love to the people that I'm interviewing. Again, it's more about being it's more about spreading the word on addiction and recovery. Yes, it's been a dream of mine for a long time to be a successful YouTuber, but with this avenue, I really feel like, or I have faith that I'm gonna save somebody's life, is what it's about. So subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comment on the videos, hit that little notification bell. That way every time I post, you get notified about it. Besides that, the brother we're gonna sit down with today, I actually went to school with him years ago. I've known him for at least half my life. We didn't always hang out. Actually, we didn't even really hang out after high school. But we've always known of each other's, I guess, existence or, presence here in the city. Some of my people know him, some of his people know me. So I always say I'm excited to sit down with this interview. I'm excited about all my interviews. But yeah, this one gives a little bit of inspiration to me, just because it feels good to see people that I actually know, like people in my circle from my childhood. It feels good to see them trying to better their lives, So I appreciate this young man's vulnerability and sitting down and being open and transparent with us, giving us a peek into his history, into his present, and into his future. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Dominic.
Dominic, and how old are you?
34 years old.
34? Oh man, I'm older than you. Okay. Yeah, we went to the same school, but were you born in Tucson?
No, I was not. I was actually born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 1989.
1989, from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yep.
Did how much time did you spend out there before you got to Tucson?
Shit, I was back and forth. I remember coming back and forth with my mom. Just like every summer, it felt like it might have been a different season, but it just like once a year I was out here till I was about 7 or 8, I think. So not too long. I still consider Tucson my home.
Do you have memories from growing up in Albuquerque?
I have a lot of memories. Yes.
What was that like?
The memories.
Good memories or bad memories?
Man, I got memories, man. That's far. Yeah, I got good and bad. Excuse me.
Let me ask, was it because your parents were separated? Is that why you were going back and forth?
I was going back and forth at the time because my mom had a sister that lived out here. So when things weren't going right over there, from what my understanding, I was still young. We'd come over here. So I mean, I don't know. That's something I gotta probably figure out, because I don't really know the reason why I was going back and forth. It was just a lot of school switching and a lot of, I could never get settled in. It's always like, we gotta go, and then it was on to the next. My dad wasn't really in the picture, so my parents, I guess they always been separated. Yeah.
What was your household like when you were young? What was it like growing up in your house?
Growing up in my house, I didn't really have the house thing. Like I said, when I got to Tucson, my mom suffered with addiction. just as well as I did. Recovering addict, as you know, but um, my mom, growing up with my mom was very confusing to me. I didn't really understand what was going on. It was me and my little brother. Drugs were around all the time. I slept in the living room, and I'd wake up to my grandma and her friends in the kitchen using. I knew they were doing something wrong. I just didn't know what they were doing, but I just knew that they were doing something wrong. It's every time we wake up, everybody get to scattering like roaches. Like
Yeah.
yeah, so my grandma really raised me, man. My mom didn't. So my mom was like in and out the picture. She was out doing her thing to control her habit, and my dad he didn't want really too much to do with me at that age. My mom was 21. I think my dad was 59 when they had me. There's a big age difference. I don't, you know, I kind of understand why my dad didn't want to play that.
That's one hell of an age difference.
Yeah.
So it sounds like addiction. Your family has a history of addiction. You said your grandma, your mom.
Yeah. Everybody. I think everybody on my mom's side had an addiction to heroin at one time in their life, and even me. I was born with it, so you know, I had to get withdrawn from heroin as a baby, as an infant.
What was it like? What was aside from like the household? What was childhood like for you? Like,
I had no structure, man. I had no structure, so I was just running and gunning. I was doing whatever I wanted. Till about I was like 9. That's when the structure started. But I'll talk to you about that later. But it's from when I was to the youngest I can remember to about 7. I was just running and gunning. I remember trying to start my own gang. I don't even think I was on the west side of Albuquerque, but I thought I was west side because my mom listened to Tupac, and I just remember seeing the W on the album covers. and I probably wasn't even on the west side of Albuquerque, bro. But I thought I had a little gang. I had like 3 or 4 people with me. My brother, my little bro.
what age was this?
I was probably like 6. I said I was like 5 or 6. Trying to get in fights. I remember I used to go up to the Walmart and try to steal as much as I can. And I got caught a couple times. My mom beat my ass, made me write down 1,000 times how I would not steal, but I just had no structure, man. I had nobody. I know my mom did tell me you can't do this and can't do that, but nobody taught me that I couldn't do that beforehand. It was just like, oh, okay, I already did it. Now you're gonna get disciplined. But I didn't know that going up to the store, taking shit out was gonna get me my ass whooped. I see everybody around me doing it.
Yeah.
Everybody coming home with stolen shit. So it's like that was the thing to do. But I got whooped for it. I got whooped a lot for my brother would come home. My brother would come home, and he'd be in trouble at school. My mom beat my ass. So.
Would you say? Do you think it was more discipline or like abuse?
It was definitely abuse, and I forgave my mom, but it was definitely abuse.
Do you have a relationship with your mom today?
I have a powerful relationship with my mom. My mom is my best friend.
And how's her recovery going?
Man, my mom is one of my biggest inspirations, and she's been clean for some years now. And she's very active in my kids' lives. She's very active in my life when I let her be. Sometimes we have I bump heads with her. That's my mom, but I talk to my mom every day. Every day I talk to my mom and tell her, I love her, and she tell me how proud she is of me, and she's definitely making an effort. She definitely, in my eyes, made up for anything I felt that wasn't right in my past. Like, for a while I used to hold that shit against her and I throw it in her face, but I think when I turned 18, I tattooed her name on my arm, with the Mexico flag behind it, because that's what she made me. That was my way of showing her that I forgive her. I put her name on my arm, and that kind of made her, that was it. That made her light, her day, you know what I'm saying?
So that's cool. You hold no resentment.
No, not hell no, man. I think my mom did what she could for us.
Mm-hmm.
To get back to the question about when I moved to Tucson, my mom, when she moved out here, she actually one morning just decided that we needed to go to a shelter, right? So we went to the shelter, and she left me and my brother at the shelter to get a better life. She knew that she was still in her addiction, and her life was unmanageable, as you know we say, and she put us up for better air. I don't look at it then. I may have looked at it, and maybe a couple years after, I thought my mom had left me, but I see the bigger picture, and I don't think I would have had it any other way. If my mom, consider my mom was still using. Now, if she was clean and in a perfect world, we'd be together. But my mom having the addiction that she had, I don't think I would have had any other way. She did the best thing she could do, and she put us up to get us away from that lifestyle. But it didn't last long until, you know, addiction is a disease, man. So it snuck up on me.
So when you say your mom left you in the shelter, was it like foster care or?
Yeah, she left us in the shelter, and the CPS worker came and picked us up. I remember me and my brother stayed in the CPS office for one day. That day felt like 100 years, bro. We was waiting for a home to open up, and by the end of the day, a home opened up, and they wanted me and my brother, and it was not a single, but a husband and a wife, and they had their kid, and their kid was my age.
Yeah.
I was 10 years old. I was in the 5th grade. My brother was in the 2nd grade. No, my brother was in the 1st grade. And they took us in, and it was like a shock. Like I wasn't used to the structure. It was like we had chores, we had bedtimes, we had, you know, family events that I wasn't used to. We had to clean our rooms. I didn't know what a room was. I had to wash dishes. I hated washing dishes. Now I got chores. I'm washing dishes. I'm cleaning the yard.
You got structure.
School. Yeah, I'm going to school every day. I wasn't used to that. I remember going to school when I was with my mom. Here when we first got to Tucson, and I used to have to. I didn't have clothes to wear, right? So I had to go in the dirty clothes inside the bathroom, and I remember grabbing clothes out the dirty clothes that weren't even mine. That probably weren't even my mom's. It probably was somebody who was just staying around the house, the apartment that we had. I grabbed like dirty socks and wear them because I'm like we gotta wear socks. So I remember putting on dirty socks and getting an infection in my foot. I remember that shit, but I didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like when I got to the foster home, it was like all new. Like I learned how to shower right. I learned how to brush my teeth every night. Not to say my mom didn't teach me this, but my mom just wasn't there. She struggled in addiction. It's something that I struggled in, and you know, it played a role in my addiction played a big role in why I was absent in my kids' life. So I better understand. At least my mom tried. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really. I'll get to that later, but yeah. So I got to the foster home. And I would throw a lot of temper tantrums. Because I didn't want to be told what to do. I'd get in fights with their kid, their biological kid, and that eventually got them to kick me out of it. Basically, you know, they didn't want me no more. So,
how long were you in that setting?
That one I was in for like I'd say maybe a year until they decided they didn't want me anymore. And I remember I used to have long hair, and I had these bugs in my hair, bro. And I had lice. And I used to go to school, and kids would laugh at me, and I'd be sitting there like picking the bugs out and flicking them at the kids when they start laughing at me, like basically saying like "fuck you." Like I was embarrassed, bro. But then that foster home took me, shaved my head off. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. Getting back to my mom, them kicking me out the foster home. I didn't want my brother to come with me, and I used to always want to separate from my brother, bro. Like I don't know why. I'm glad I didn't. Like the system kept us together, but my brother, my little brother, I remember them telling me they were gonna get rid of me, and they wanted to keep my brother. And before I started didn't want to be around him. Before I was trying to separate us, I was trying to separate us. Not I didn't have any authority, but I thought I did. My brother came running out that room like, "No, I'm going with my brother," and that shit really, really like when I think about it now and I unpack that, that's like. That was a strong, like, that shit did something to me, man. Like, I was getting kicked out of the foster home. They sent me to another one. I went down to Sarita. It was more of a group home setting. From there, I lived there for about another year. Me and my brother was there. I ended up getting a call from somebody, you know, to go to the front. I went to the front, and they're like, "Yo, brother, you got a brother that wants to meet you. And I'm not talking about my little brother that's Arabic. They're saying I got an older brother, and I'm like, no, I didn't know I had any other siblings. All I knew my whole life was it was me and Gerald, my younger brother. That's all I knew. They're like, you got an older brother that wants to meet you. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And then they put me in the car, and it's just me. They put me in the car and they take me to the CPS office that I spent 100 years in. But they take me there, and I go in this room, and I see this older man and this lady, husband and wife. And I see this dude start crying when he see me, and he's like, "That's him." And the lady looks at me. She goes, "This is your older brother on your dad's side." And I'm like, "What?" And he's old enough to be my dad. He older than my mom. He was older than my mom, bro.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Damn, what the hell? Like, this is my brother." And he shows me this class picture of me in 5th grade. And he's like, "You know who I am?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "I'm your older brother. We got the same dad." He's like, "My dad called me down there and told me that they called him and his other siblings. My dad was in the, getting sick. He was about to die. And I guess right before he was about to die, he told me he had another kid, referring to me like I got another kid."
Yeah.
In Tucson, and they all got together and knew that my oldest brother was out here, and was like, "Well, let's tell Ernest, my older brother, let's tell him and see if we can find him." And he went and he found me. They went and they found me in the system, and not only did they take me in and adopt me, they had also one of the requirements for me to have a new home with my brother was that I let my little brother come with me, who had no blood relation to my older brother.
Right.
And I, selfish as this may seem, I didn't want my little brother to come. I said, hell no. And part of that was because I took all his ass whoopings as a kid. I was like, fuck that. He's not coming with me. I had some envy towards him, and I was jealous because I was like, everywhere we go, he gonna get babied. He gonna be put on a pedestal. But they told me, well, if he's not coming, then we're not taking none of y'all. Y'all can both stay in this group home. So I was like, damn. And that shit fucks with me, dude. Knowing that I was selfish and wanted my brother to stay. I'm glad I didn't, because I didn't know the significance it would play later on in life. Like, family need to stick together. Your loved ones, you need to always stick together. I thank my older brother. Now my older brother legally is my dad. I have a dad now because of that. My brother has a dad now because of that. We didn't know our dads growing up, So
was that the last placement you had when your older brother adopted you guys?
Yeah, that was it. That was the end of that road. That was the end of all that.
And so what was briefly like, what was that household like?
That was rebirth. That was it. I felt like I was born again. Me and my brother both had our own rooms. We ain't never had our own room. We ain't never had a room to share. That was dope. I got to stay in the same school for more than a year. You know what I mean? I went to the same middle school in 3 years. I went to the same high school until I decided to fuck up. But I went long enough. I went for 4 years and dropped out my senior year. But anyway, that household was structured. I was very into my grades because I wanted to play basketball. So in order to play basketball, I had to get good grades. My brother was a fuck up then, not now, but then he was fucking up. He didn't bring home good grades. His room was never clean. My room was always clean. I brought home good grades. And he still ended out a little bit. His situations ended up a little bit better than mine, though. But anyways, that was I got in trouble a lot. I still fucked up. I remember my brother / dad telling me that, he was telling me these things. So, and then that when I get older, that I realize why he was telling me, and it's true. Like, the lessons he tried to set for me, the things he tried to teach me, I didn't want to hear it back then. But he would always tell me, "You're gonna wish you listened to me when you get older." And damn, did I wish I would have listened to him. Is there a few things I would have changed?
I've been told the same thing by my mom before. It's funny how those conversations hit you later in life.
Right.
So fast forwarding or switching topics a little bit. When did I mean, did you dabble with drugs when you were in high school or?
No, not at all. No, hell no. I actually remember me and a classmate of mine. I'll say his name, Arian. I actually remember us going to a party one time, a black and white party. Not meaning. I'm not talking about
Race, but an
race,
actual
but
black
I'm
and
talking
white.
about, yeah, the clothing. Like it was a
Yeah.
black and white party, and we showed up, and they was trying to get us a drink, and we was like, no, we athletes, we don't drink. But somebody slipped me some hypnotic in my EG that night, and I got fucked up. I was throwing up. My buddy was laughing at me.
So when you were younger, seeing addiction, you didn't mess around at all.
Hell no, I was scared of it. I was like, I do not use drugs. I was like, mainly because I was born with that shit in me. I was like,
Right.
if I decide to fuck with heroin, I'm gonna be the worst one because I felt like my body already knew what it wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed far, far away from that. I did dibble and dabble after high school with it, like as far as selling it, but
So let's go there. Did you graduate high school?
GED. I didn't graduate. I got my GED in the penitentiary.
And what led you to the penitentiary?
Drugs, selling crack.
How far after high school did you start selling drugs?
I think like, let's see, I caught my case and I was 21 when I caught my case, so probably a couple years after high school. I used to smoke weed. I smoked weed a little bit, and then I started working at jobs, and I seen my buddy was making more money than I made in one day than I made in 2 weeks. So I was like, damn, I quit my job, and then at first he didn't want to throw me the sack, he didn't want to throw me nothing, and then
He didn't want to put you on, basically.
he did not want to put me on, and one day he did. He put me on, and I bubbled, and I mean, I went from there, and I did really good at it. I thought till I got caught, and I got caught, and they put me on IPS. Now during that time of me, the first time before I went to prison, I never used drugs. I just smoked weed. I never even knew what coke tasted like or felt like. It was strictly weed. I didn't even smoke cigarettes. I didn't drink. I was just selling crack. So like I said, I did really good. I made a good amount of money in a month.
And so you said what led you to start selling drugs was just seeing somebody else making more money selling drugs than you were making at a job.
At Wendy's, yep. I was working at Wendy's and he was making more money than me.
And this is after high school. So after high school, you tried to stay straight,
Yeah.
and you just saw how lucrative the lifestyle could have been.
Yeah, I was trying to stay straight because I just had my son, my oldest son, who's about to be 15 now. I was trying to stay straight. I tried to be there, but I slipped, man. Just like I was telling her, I slipped, and I still to this day ain't made that shit right.
How long were you in prison that first stint?
I was in for the first time. I was in there for 3 years. I got IPS, and I violated IPS. They gave me IPS. On IPS, I did good. I worked the job. I was active in my son's life for 10 months, and then that 10 month, I caught a new case. And you know what's funny is I can say that I wasn't using, but I think if there was no alcohol at that party when I caught my new case, that there would have never been no case. And alcohol is a drug, and alcohol played a big role in why I caught my second case.
And what did you get? What was your?
I got my second case.
Yeah.
This is why I got sent to prison the first time. I got put on IPS for the drug charge. I got caught selling crack, cocaine, but while on IPS, I caught a new felony charge, which is why I got sent to prison the first time. I was honestly at the wrong place at the wrong time, but I was still at that place. That place where I was at is where I wanted to be, but I drifted off over here for a little bit and watched the homies whoop somebody, and like I really didn't touch nobody. I didn't put my hands on nobody, but what I did was I went back and tried to help the dude, and I was the last person that they could identify that left with that crowd. I went back and made sure he was all right because my homies literally beat him to death almost, and I got a big heart, man. I went back and I tried to check on dude, and he was so out of it that when they asked him a description, all he could remember was my blue shirt. I had on tall tees was popping back then. I had on a tall tee, a blue one, with some blue and gray shoes on, and all he could remember was somebody in a blue shirt. So when they pulled me over after dropping my homegirl off, my dumb ass went right back to the scene. The police was there, dude. They snatched me out the car. they were saying it was attempted. It wasn't attempted murder, but that's how serious he was. That's how bad he was bleeding, and I couldn't even say nothing. I couldn't even say, oh, it was so and so or so and so. I had to like sit there and take the rap for it. And I went back. I went to county, and I sat in county for 10 months, and I signed a plea to aggravated assault. They only gave me a year for that, but they gave me 3 years for my IPS violation. So they ran it concurrent, and they gave me a 3-year sentence.
So how old were you when you finally got out of prison?
I was 23 years old.
23.
I was 23, and then I stayed out for almost 2 years, but I ended up having a daughter with my same baby mama, and I started selling due to my situation with the female I was with. I wasn't with my baby mama; I was with somebody else. I went back and messed around with my baby mama one time, and we got her pregnant. So when I got her pregnant, I didn't, it was a lot of stress. And I'm like, damn, how do I tell, what I'm saying, my girl that I fucked up? And I told her, but it just created a whole lot of drama. So I went back right to the streets. I started selling crack again. I quit my job, but this time I picked up a habit. This time I started snorting meth, and by accident. But it don't matter. I don't think how I stumbled across it should matter. Just because I did it anyway. But I started sniffing meth. Like I was sniffing like every Friday or every Saturday. On the weekends, I go and sniff some lines of meth because it helped me perform better somewhere else in my life.
I was gonna say, if you're comfortable, you told me the story. Do you feel comfortable telling that?
Yeah, I don't mind. So I met meth in 2014. I met coke in 2014. So I met coke first. I used to do lines with the homie because I would cook the crack up. I'm the one who used to cook the crack in the microwave, so I put something to the side and I play with my nose before I make it in the crack. I'd sniff a couple lines of coke and I go in the kitchen and do my thing, whip up the shit, and then I was like 2 days into doing the lines though before I continued using coke, but I was 2 days into doing it, and I went to my homie's house and they was passing around a line. I thought it was cool. They was passing around a plate with a bunch of lines on it. This lady's over there crushing some shit. She's making lines for everybody. She asked the homie, "Hey, does your boy want something?" She's like, "Yeah, he cool." So they passed me the plate, and I do it. I sniff a line. I'm like, damn. I'm like, this shit hurt. I'm thinking that because it stings so much that it must be that fire, fire coke. I think I went to my baby mama's and I fucked her for about 4 hours straight. 4 hours straight, and I didn't know why, and she didn't know why. She's like, "What the fuck is going?"
Just at that time, you guys thought it were good. You thought it was good.
What's that?
You thought the sex was good, basically, because of.
Hell yeah, I thought it was good, but I didn't know why. I'm like, why am I like? Did I just evolve or something? I thought I was like a new man. I'm like, damn, I tore that up, but and she was loving it, so I was like, what the fuck happened? So when I went and I told my boy about it. Another homie, he's like, bro, that probably wasn't coke you snorted, it probably was meth. And I told him I was in there, for a long time, and he's like, that was meth, bro. I'm like, nope. But I called the other boy up. I'm like, yo, what was that? What was that on that plate? He said, that was that was meth. I'm like, what the? I said, bro, why didn't you tell me that, bro? I thought you did it. No, bro, I ain't never done that shit in my life.
Did you feel any resentment, or were you mad at him for giving you?
I was mad because my plug was like, that's fucked up. He let you do that. Da, 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 da. But in all actuality, no, I wasn't mad because if I want to know what that was, I should have asked him what it was.
Right.
I just accepted the plate. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I thought it was cool. I'm gonna do what they doing, and that wasn't the case.
But we see how dangerous it is for substances to be getting passed around, thinking it's one thing and it's something else.
Right.
Thankfully, to all God's glory, it didn't kill you, right?
Right.
So fast forwarding a little bit after you realized what it was and you started, obviously you picked up a habit just because of that?
I picked up a habit.
Or let me ask a better question. From that first line forward, how How fast did your habit evolve?
How fast it evolved. It took a while. It took a while as I was just experimenting. Mind you, I was new to coke, so I was still doing coke.
Right.
I didn't go and sniff G the next day after I tried it. No, I kind of like didn't want nothing to do with it really. But then when I wanted to have fun, that's when I would pick it up. When I wanted to
Right.
have fun with my chick, wherever that was at the time, I would go and sneak a couple lines of some shit, and I thought I was just Superman in the bedroom, but that didn't last long. And then I ended up, like I said, I was still around drugs, and I ended up, boom, like, one day I get popped again for selling crack and go right back to prison. And so I, like, at that time, I didn't think I was a drug addict. I was like, I just did it a few times. I'm really not a drug addict. And I even did it a few times in prison for no fucking reason. Didn't know why the fuck I did it. Up all night where everybody sleep, watching TV, stressed out, anxiety like a motherfucker, bro. I was just like, what the fuck did I just do that for?
Yeah.
And I didn't notice that I was slowly building my habit up to a drug that I had no control over. It was just slowly like taking over my life. Like,
How long was that prison stint?
that was 4 years.
How old were you when you got out?
I was 29.
What did you do when you got out? Where'd you like?
I got a job working at. I actually had another kid.
Mm-hmm.
I went and got another girl pregnant. I got a job installing windows and doors. I wasn't using. I wasn't smoking weed. I was drinking on the weekends. Drinking was never really my thing though, but the family drank, so I drank. And when in my life, when I get tired, when I don't want to take no responsibility, when I get lazy, I always want to take the easy way out. So I would like cause fights with my baby mama at the time, so I didn't have to be there, and I'd be in the. I'd take off my car, you know, go here, go there, and then one day I went to L.A. This is when I left. One day I went to L.A. and didn't tell her. For something that was important to me, I drove out to L.A. And when I came back, I had lost my job because I stayed out there a little bit too long, like a couple days more than I was supposed to. And they ended up letting me go, and obviously my chick at the time didn't like that. She didn't like that I didn't tell her I was going to LA either. I just got in my car and went one Friday after work. I got my paycheck and bounced. And I came back Tuesday. And she didn't like that I didn't tell her nothing. So when I got back, I didn't have no job, and she was mad I didn't do that. One thing just led to another, and I just did. I bounced. I was like, fuck it.
You left her. You bounced from her.
Yep, I went back and bounced from her, and I went and picked up a sack. And I had this apartment. My plug let me stay in this apartment. I was selling dope for my homeboy, and this is when I really got heavy on my addiction. The people next door would come over and hang out, kick it, you know what I'm saying? And then one day a pipe popped out, and it was like, hit the pipe. And I was like, no, I don't do it like that. I'll sniff it. And it was like, hit the pipe. And I seen them hitting a couple times, and I was like, let me see that shit. And I started hitting it, and
would you say peer pressure or
peer pressure? No, I just was ready for. I wanted to do something different. I was tired of doing shit because somebody else wanted me to be doing it. I was like, excuse me. I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and I wanted to self-destruct too because I felt like my life was getting nowhere. So I started smoking heavy, tough, every day. And yeah, that shit, I ended up in a very toxic relationship after that, but learned some things from it. And I'm very ashamed of how I was in that relationship. I ended up seeing basically my mom's life replayed all over again. Like, my mom used to get beat, and I used to call the cops. My mom used to get beat, and I would call the cops. Men would be beating her up left and right, and I'd be the one calling the cops. And 20 years later, I'm the one beating up my girlfriend. She's pregnant. It's a different baby mama now. She's pregnant with my son, and I'm beating her like she a man, dude. And damn, I never really told nobody that shit, but I'm not proud of it, dude. I'm not proud of it at all. I think that no woman should be treated the way I treated the mother of my son. I put her through hell, and I don't think any woman should be treated that way, but I'm learning from that, and I'm growing from that, and I'm learning that I don't like the person that I am when I use drugs. I don't want to be that person. I had to experience that to know that I didn't want that though. Like that's definitely not who I am. I'm not that type of character at all. My mom raised me better than that, and she only raised me for about 7 years. But like I said, I used to watch her get beat. I knew that a man was not supposed to hit a woman at a young age. That's why I was the one calling the police. Like I knew that was wrong. I knew it. Like, and here I am doing it to the extreme. I'm leaving scars. I'm black in the eyes. Nose is broken. Ears is like I was hurting somebody bad, and I didn't even see it. And all because a drug took over my judgment. It took over the way I see things. It took over my health. It took over everything, man. And I lost everything. I lost my kid. I lost all four of my kids. Not to the. I'm not saying to the system either. I'm saying I just lost them. Like the drug pulled me out of their life. Like I have no relationships with any of my kids, and that's something that I'm working on. That's my biggest goal in life is to build a relationship with all four of my kids, 2 boys and 2 girls. But that drug made me a monster. It took away my apartment. It took away my job. It took away some of the people that care for me. All because I chose that over this. So that shit kind of hurt, but not kind of. It really did hurt a lot.
So, how long? It's good that you realize these things now, and I mean, just from being around you the last couple weeks and shit, I could definitely see the growth in you. It's good to see you like sincerely putting in the work on yourself.
Yeah.
And so, how long in this heavy, toxic addiction until you sought recovery?
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, 5 years. I got tired of it. I had nobody at the end. I had nobody.
What was your bottom?
Like, what do you mean? Like,
they say like you have to hit rock bottom to go and get help. Is that what it was? Like losing all your kids?
My bottom was losing all my kids and me just being dirty, man. I hated being dirty. I don't like being dirty. Dirt under my fingernails, not having my kids. I felt like a letdown. I felt like a bust. Like I was I don't like that. I think my kids need to be able to look to me for inspiration, man. I got 4 of them. I'm supposed to be the rock. Like I haven't done shit for my kids, and that's why I chose to be here and be in my recovery, because my kids need me, and I don't want them to know me as some dude who used drugs. I want them to know me as a coach, a superhero,
dad,
yeah, a father. Like I want them to know me as everything, everything good. Like I just don't want to be associated with that lifestyle when they think about me. So it is hard for me.
Is this your first time seeking recovery?
And this is my second time fully engaging and trying to get what I can to make my life better out of it.
I like how you say fully engaging. So your first time, what was it like for your first time in recovery?
My first time my first 2 times, this is my first 2 times. Second time fully engaging, meaning that I tried a couple times before the 2 times, and I tried a couple times before the 2 times, and it was just like I hit the little 7 days here and thought I had it, and I bounced. Boom, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple times I'm like that, but a year ago I got into the program here. I'm not gonna say where, but I did I graduated a 30-day program, and I went on to what they had after that, and I loved it. I was happy. One thing about being in recovery is that you definitely get your life back. Like
everything starts falling into place.
Yeah, everything starts falling in place, and I'm always happy. Like nobody wants to be around angry people out there. Not even angry people want to be around angry people, because they want to be the top angry, and they don't want no one around them to be they on. But one thing about being in recovery is you always want to be around like-minded people, and there's always smiles in the air. I don't know, man, it's just a beautiful thing to be in recovery. I couldn't explain it. You have to
seek your own recovery to get it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, um, so we talked about your past, talked about you presently seeking recovery and being fully engaged in it. Um, what do you think what's the biggest lesson you've learned about yourself?
That the greatest teacher in life is my own experience, and I ain't gonna find out who I am until I fail. So I failed a few times, and I'm trying to figure out who I'm gonna be or who I'm set out to be, and I'm digging deep, and um, I'm trying to visit places that in myself, visit these places in myself that I ain't never visited before. I'm trying to gain knowledge from things that I don't know yet about myself.
I see you got a Nipsey Hussle T-shirt on,
Oh shit!
and just knowing you personally, what role does he play in your life?
Big role, big inspiration to my movement and where I'm trying to go. Always has been, no matter what. I just at times I fall off, and I don't apply his literature to what I'm trying to do. But when I do, I seem to do the right thing. So um, he's played a big role in my recovery. I don't think there's anything that he says that doesn't. I feel like he's talking directly to me when he speaks. It's crazy, and I'm not talking about his music. I ain't talking about his songs. I'm talking about his literature, his interviews. That's what I study about him. I know his songs already. I know all of them, but I go and look back at his interviews that he had people, how he got to where he was at, and the methods he used, and damn, I can apply it to recovery, not just recovery. I can apply it to anything I'm doing in my life. Definitely a big inspiration.
What's the biggest jewel Nipsey's giving you?
Laying a brick.
Laying a brick.
Lay a brick every day instead of trying to build a brick wall. You lay a brick every day. Eventually, you look up and you're gonna have a brick wall.
And so that sinks in with just taking it one day at a time.
Right.
Doing the next right thing.
Right.
Just being present in the moment, placing one foot in front of the other foot, right?
Right.
I feel like sometimes in recovery we get overwhelmed thinking about like there's so many tasks, so many obstacles we got to accomplish and achieve to like actually get our life back. But if we just lay one brick at a time, eventually we'll have that, right?
Yeah.
That's what's up. So your future, what do you want out of your future?
I want my life back. I want to be a father. I want to be. I want to raise my kids. I want to see them grow. I want to have them all together. You know what I'm saying? I've never had my kids all together at once, not one time. So I want to be able to go somewhere with all four of my kids and hop out and show my basketball team. You know, we're gonna go play somebody in basketball somewhere here in Tucson, and I'm gonna be on that team. Yeah. Me and my four kids, but I just want to be right. I want to be pure. I want to be in peace with myself. I want to be in peace with God. I want to be at peace with my friends, my family. I want to be an inspiration to those who love me. A lot of people love me, and I'm grateful for all the people that pray for me. I love y'all. Thank you, and I just want to give back. I want to get back to my brotherhood, where I grew up at, where my mom grew up at. I just want to give back to those who were less fortunate, who couldn't figure it out like I'm figuring it out. But it's there if you want it. You know what I mean? You just gotta want it. And sometimes you might feel like you don't want it, but you know it's always good to try something new. So think of it like that, and it's so comfortable, man. It came so comfortable, like it came so natural. So I don't think I want to be in another place right now. I'm digging this shit. I'm loving my life right now. I'm happy. I got to meet my baby son for the first time. Man, I get to talk to my daughter. I see pictures of her. I talk to her mom to know how she's doing. I seen my oldest two kids right before I decided to come here. And I was clean when I seen them. I was 4 days clean before I decided to get my shit right. But I knew that I couldn't do it on my own, that I needed a blueprint and I needed a higher power. But I needed that blueprint, and being here gives me a blueprint of which direction to go. If I want my life, it gives me examples of, you know, it gives me proof, you know, that this shit does work. So like I'm happy. Yeah, God is good.
So I did this on my last video and I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm gonna do the same thing with you. What I want you to do, should you come back and look at this video in the future, I want you to leave a message to your future self. Should you get distracted, should you fall off, should you need inspiration or motivation or something, leave a message to yourself to pump you up in the future.
Just stick to the script long enough to make something real happen.
Say it again.
Sticking to your script long enough to make something real happen. That ain't me either. That's bro Nipsey, but that shit is. I want to hear that later on. This is just knowing that, if shit, you know, if greatness or if I really want this recovery, that it's not gonna be easy. It's definitely not gonna be easy. One day at a time, and it's gonna be a bumpy road. But if I stick to my script, and you know what I'm saying, and I stay true to myself, and I'm gonna be all right. Process what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? I'll be all right. Yo, I'm a leader, okay? A man of integrity, and I'm gonna get it done.
There it is. Any advice to those who may be lost on their path right now, lost on their journey?
Life is fast, bro. Life goes by really fast, and the breath of air is gone. So, figure out what it is that you're meant to be here for. Figure out what you want, and do that shit, because we out there getting nowhere fast in our addiction, dude. Nowhere fast, and time is just flying by, and time don't wait for nobody. Nobody. So, you know, as you sitting out there doing what you're doing, and calendars are flipping by, and they're flipping by, and they're flipping by. So find something that you meant for, and love what you're doing, and do that shit. And yeah.
So Dominic, man, again, I appreciate you being transparent and being vulnerable, and letting us see inside your world. Again, this content is meant to save somebody's life, get a look inside of where addiction starts sometimes, where addiction is at, to look at what recovery is, where recovery's going, and just to bring people back to people. In today's world, like, we get so lost in all these TikToks and YouTubes and social media that people aren't people anymore. So part of my platform is just wanting to reintroduce people to people, you know. We bleed the same blood y'all bleed. We made bad choices, but we're not bad people. And man, that's pretty much the game right there. As always, subscribe, like, comment, share. I appreciate all the love and the feedback and the support that I get off this. You see, I'm almost at 100 subscribers right now. With this video, I'm trying to take it past 100. So I appreciate y'all. We out.